Hey all, Hiba here, welcome back to the channel, and today we're looking at the Nintendo Switch and how you can improve the accuracy of your handheld console. So with that in mind, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and of course comment and like. So if you like to play, for example, first-person shooters on your Switch, you might have realized that the Switch is not as accurate or precise as the controller of, for example, a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox, and definitely nowhere near as accurate as a mouse and keyboard combination. So in this video here, I'll give you a few options on how you can actually mitigate that issue. And I promise you, you'll see great results, especially if you play a lot of multiplayer first-person shooter games, where accuracy really is super important. So let's say you just got yourself a Switch, and as I'm sure you are aware, the Switch can be played in a handheld position, and also in a tabletop position, and also in a docked position. Now, the dock position or the table position isn't really much of a problem, because you can just, attach the controller that comes with the Switch, which is fairly decent. It's not too bad. Or you can go out and purchase the Switch Pro controller, which is actually great. Very nice controller. It will solve all the accuracy problems, of course, if you are playing docked. As a third option, you can also choose to connect a PlayStation 5 controller or an Xbox controller or pretty much any Bluetooth controller directly to the Switch and use that instead of the Pro controller. It all depends what you prefer, but all of these options really only work if you are playing in tabletop mode or in docked mode. So let's get to the point in this video here, and that point is, of course, how do you increase the accuracy and or precision of your Switch console when you're playing it in handheld mode like this. So first, let me just go through what the actual problem is here. And as you might have realized, the real issue here is the Switch analog sticks. Now these were made for a portable console, right? So they're made for the console to be able to be taken quickly in and out of bags, and the analog sticks not getting snagged too easily, so they can't be too high, for example. So this creates issues in games that require a high level of precision and accuracy. So as you can see in the video here, there's not a lot of leeway in the standard Switch analog sticks here. They don't travel far, they're not very high, so you don't get a lot of actual movement out of them. So compare that, for example, to something like the PlayStation 5 controller. You can see there's a lot more movement in the actual analog stick, meaning that you will have a lot more analog possibilities. And the Switch controller is almost a digital controller when you actually think about it, because there's very little leeway. So what do I mean by all this? Well, it's actually very simple. It really means that a controller like the PlayStation 5 controller, the analog stick is able to move further, higher, and much more freely than on a Switch. And that in turn gives you a larger angle that you are able to actually move the stick. Now this angle here is what gives you the precision when you are playing, right? So if you can move the analog stick more, you will have a larger scale to actually adjust your movements, and your movement won't be as jerky and digital like it is with the standard Switch Joy-Cons, simply because the travel is much larger on another controller. So what's the cheapest way to fix this? Well, it's actually very simple. You can go online and you can buy thumb grip sets that will actually increase the height of the standard analog sticks on the Switch. Now this means that the travel actually doesn't change, but it does mean that because the stick is higher, it will give you like a larger angle to move the stick. So these little silicone grips here, they come in many different sizes and heights, and like I said before, the higher the grip, the more accuracy you get, until of course a certain point where it kind of gets out of control. But if you add one of these here about half an inch, 1 centimeter in height, you are going to improve your accuracy by a huge amount. So these grips here are very cheap. You can get them for a few dollars on eBay and stuff like that. And as you can see here, all you got to do is just attach them on top of the existing analog controller. They're made out of very soft plastic, so it's fairly easy just to pop them on top of the existing analog controller and simply, just attach them that way. And you can see here what a difference it makes to the actual height of the analog controller here on the Switch. It is a huge difference. So what this simple, cheap modification here does is that it gives you a lot more control. Because moving the joystick is now a lot more precise. You can move it a very tiny amount and you can move it a large amount. And it's a lot easier to control the amount that you move because the stick is higher. So this will sort out a lot of the issues for just a few dollars, right? So at the same time, if you're looking for more ergonomic grip, you can buy one of these ergonomic grip attachments here to the Switch as well. They cost like $4 or $5. And if you combine this with the silicone Joy-Con grips I just showed you earlier, you are going to have a very, very capable, portable first-person shooter machine here, definitely. But of course, you can also choose to say, okay, this is a lot of fiddling. I'm just going to spend like $100 and get something like this. Now, this particular model here is the best on the market. It's called the Hori Switch Pad Plus. And really what it is it is a full-size controller, except it has kind of been cut in half, and you can then use the Hori controller instead of the standard Switch controllers that come in the pack. And they attach exactly the same way as the standard Joy-Cons. They just slide down the side of the Switch and they click in place, and it's super easy. And of course, once that is done, you will have a Switch with a full-size accurate controller. So this approach here gives you the best of both worlds, because you will have your portable console, but you will also have a full-size controller to use with it, which will give you all the benefits of what I showed before, but of course for a slightly higher price. And as well as the price, also keep in mind that a controller like the Hori will make your Switch quite a bit larger, and it can be a little bit big, especially on something like a plane where your elbow room is perhaps a little bit limited. Now the Hori as standard doesn't work when it's detached from the Switch, but you can buy an accessory that you pop in the middle that will in effect give you an extra controller when you are not using the Hori attached to your Switch. So that's another little plus here, but it does require that you go out and buy that extra little middle thing there. Lastly, there is another option that you can actually use in combination with any of the previous two options I've shown you, and that is to use the built-in gyroscope within the Switch to assist you in your aiming. Now it only works for some games, for example Quake 2 here and also the Borderlands games, and it really just allows you to tilt the console to fine-tune your aiming. So it does help a lot, and it's something that not many people know you can do. Alright guys, that takes me to the end of the video. I hope this helped. I hope you can use some of the options, and of course there's a cheap option and there's a more expensive option like I showed you. So let me know in the comments what you think, or if you have any other ideas, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel of course, and I will see you out there.